Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood.
Welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood, one sculpt at a time. Today, once again, we're going to be diving cankles first back into the wonderful world of Adventure Time, because apparently my mental health has been doing a little too well, so it's time to do a rug pull on that and sculpt one of the most overdramatic, unhinged, and unacceptable characters of the show. So that's right, folks, today we are going to be sculpting the one and only Earl of Lemongrab. Well, I guess I shouldn't say one and only, because we are going to be doing a double header. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm using that correctly. We're going to be making two heads. That's why you see two balls. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do his normal face or the one where he's yelling, "Unacceptable!" Wow, that was terrible. I thought I was gonna nail that the first time, but apparently not. So anyway, right now I'm just forming out these little lemon boys. I'm just giving them a little squeeze, giving those lemons a little squeeze and then a little pinch at the tip. Just a little pinch at the tip. Just a little pinch and twist at the tip. And once I got a couple of lemon boys that I was happy with the size with, we could go ahead and set one aside and start working on his eyes. Every set of eyes needs a good set of eye sockets, so we're gonna be using a ball stylus to press in these little divots. Then we're gonna be filling those in with some pre-baked balls that I made off camera that I sliced in half to make these wonderful eyeballs. Once I was happy with the size of his face balls, we could go ahead and start giving him some lids. For this, I just flattened out a few strips of clay, laying those over top and beneath the eyes, and once I was happy with the shape that the eye was making, and I just go around blending those in. Once I had his eye flaps all blended into the rest of the face, I then go in with the pointy end of this sculpting tool just to kind of refine the eye shape a little bit more. Once I was happy with those eyes, we can then move on to his mouth, and for this we're literally just going to be making a straight line. So for this I just took a wedge-shaped sculpting tool, drawing in a rough shape of where I wanted the mouth to be, then I followed it up with a small ball stylus to give it a little bit more shape. I then took a small piece of clay, rolling it out into a small piece of tapeworm, sticking that onto the bottom of his mouth to make his lower lip. Once I had that all blended in, I go around the mouth, making some small adjustments and refinement to make his mouth a little more mouth-like before going in with this texture tool that I made about 1,000 years ago. I happened to find it the other day and I figured it would make some pretty good lemony texture. So after rolling that across the surface, we could then pause there and move on to his nose. So after taking a dank nug of clay and rolling it out into a long tapered cone shape, you could slice off the back end and apply that to the face. I was pretty happy with the size of it, so we're just gonna go ahead and blend that in. I then followed up with a variety of different sculpting tools to give the lemon a little bit more lemony detail. After a little bit more refining and texturing of the face, we got our first little lemon boy done, so we could go ahead and set him aside and start on the next one. Now this next head is obviously going to be his more expressive face, but we are going to be starting it off the same way by adding his eyeballs. The only difference with his eyelids is I'm going to be adding snakes of clay instead of flaps of clay. This is going to give his eyes a little bit more of a bulging look. So once I had his lower eye bags in place and smoothed out, we could go ahead and do the exact same thing for the upper lids, adding these little snakes of clay over top and then blending them in. And just to finish everything off with the eyes, I am going to be going in with a silicone sculpting tool just to add a little bit of detail around the eyes. Then we can move on to his mouth. Using that same silicone sculpting tool, I roughly draw in a circle. Once I was happy with the shape of that, I could go in with my X-Acto knife, cutting out that inner part, removing all those little excess bits of clay. Once I had a hole there, we could go in and take the back of my X-Acto knife to kind of smooth out the inside. Now that I was happy with the shape of the mouth, we could go in with a smaller ball stylus to give it some inner mouth detail, before moving on to his teeth. For these teeth, I just made these off camera by pre-baking them, and now we can insert those into his mouth. We're just going to be doing a top row because I am going to be adding a tongue. For this, I just took a small nug of clay, giving it a little bit of a tongue shape. Once I was happy with the shape, we could go and shove that tongue to the back of the throat. Then using a silicone sculpting tool, I blend that in. After a wee bit of refining of the head shape, we could go ahead and take that same exact texturing tool, rubbing that all over the surface, before moving on to his nose, which I made the exact same way as the first one. And with that, we have ourselves a couple of lemon heads. I was pretty happy with how these came out, so all I need to do is insert these little pieces of armature wire, then it's off to the oven for its first bake. And now that we have our lemon heads back and they survived the oven, we could go ahead and set one aside and start on the body. I started off with a ball of clay that I rolled out into this long tube shape, rounding off one end. Once I was happy with the size of that, we could insert the head into the body. I then go around just sculpting in with my fingers, giving the torso a little bit more shape. Once I was happy with how that looked, we could go ahead and pop that first head out and insert the second head just to make sure it fits properly. Then we can move on to his legs. I went ahead and pre-cut these long pieces of armature wire that I stuck into this block of wood. This is just gonna make sure that the legs are nice and even as I stick them into the body. And with his armature legs in place, I could then go around blending the clay down into the legs, giving it a little bit of a smoother transition. As for the arms, I went ahead and did the exact same thing, pre-cutting these pieces of armature wire to length. The only difference is I'm trying to make sure I avoid that hole. That way I could insert the head and there's no interference with the arms. But with the arms looking good, I went ahead and bent them into their position, and now we can go ahead and start sleeving these bad boys up. Now, if you've been here a while, you know my tried and true method for sleeving arms up, and that is you gotta goop it. And once you goop it, you wrap it. And once you wrap it, you slice it. And once you have it sliced, then you can go around giving it a good old pinch and twist till the arm's looking all sleeved up. And I went ahead and did the other arm off camera to save a little bit of time, and then we could reinsert these back into the body. And I was pretty happy with the girth of his arms, so we could go ahead and start bulking out his shoulders. For this, I'm just taking a couple dank nugs of clay, shoving those onto the upper section of the arm, because that's typically where the shoulders lie. Then after a little bit of refinement and blending in, we have ourselves a couple of shoulders, and the upper part of the body is looking pretty sweet. So we're gonna be doing the exact same thing for the lower section, also known as the legs. I'm gonna be trying to stay kind of true to how he looks in the cartoon, that is with his skinny legs, so we're not gonna be bulking up his thighs or anything crazy like that. We are just gonna have them very slender and skinny. So once I had his legs all sleeved up and smoothed out, we could go ahead and start working on the lower section of his shirt. For this, I start off with a very skinny, flattened out piece of clay that I'm gonna wrap around his torso. I then take my X-Acto knife, slicing off that little excess bit. And with that, I was pretty happy with the length of the shirt, so I could then go around with my dirty phalanges to kind of blend everything in and make everything one unified piece. Now he kind of has a Hemingway style t-shirt, so we are gonna be adding these little buttons on top. So first things first, I went ahead and took a silicone sculpting tool, drawing a line down the center. I then made these little buttons by taking a ball of clay, then smashing them flat. I then pushed those buttons into their proper positions, and once I was happy with how they were looking, I could then go back in with that silicone sculpting tool to add a little bit more detail around those buttons to make it look like they actually belong to the shirt. I was pretty happy with how the shirt was coming along, so we are going to pause there and actually add his belt, or the thing that holds his sword up. I'm not entirely sure if it's has a different name actually, now that I think about it. But we're gonna be just making this by taking a flap of clay, wrapping that around his waist, having it lower on one end, slicing off the little excess bit. Do a little bit of blending here. And with that, our belt is mostly complete. All we need to do is add his little belt buckle. And of course it is in the shape of a lemon. So after rolling out a ball of clay, I'm gonna go ahead and smash that flat. I then could take my X-Acto knife, going around carving out a little lemon. After a few precision slices and a little bit of lemon refinement, we can go ahead and take that little lemon boy and shove that right onto the front of his belt. And with that, his body's pretty much done, but we do need to add a few wrinkles here, so I'm going to be going in with a silicone sculpting tool, dipped in some isopropyl alcohol to add in some calculated wrinkles extending from the armpits and the inner side of the elbow. Also add a few around his groin and back of the knees. And with that, we are pretty much done with the body, so we can go ahead and pop in the oven for another bake. And as you can see, I did sculpt the sword already. I, for some reason, didn't film it. I don't know, I guess I was just trying to gatekeep that one. I don't know, sorry about that. But there's the sword. We are just gonna go ahead and stick that to the side and forget we ever did that. But we're gonna move on to his hands and boots. We're gonna start off with his boots, but first we need to lay down a nice thick layer of this liquid Sculpey. And with his ankles covered in clay juice, we can go ahead and wrap a flattened out piece of clay around those ankles, slicing off the little excess bit. I go ahead and smooth out the back, and then I give it a slight taper down, and it's a little bit bigger on the top and thinner toward the ankle. Once I was happy with that portion of the boot, we could then add the front section by taking a nug of clay, flattening off one end, and then just applying that to the front. Then going with my fingers, kind of pinching and pulling, giving it more of a shoe shape. Once I was happy with the shape, I can then go in with a silicone sculpting tool, blending that in. I was pretty happy with how the first boot came out, so we could go ahead and do the exact same thing for the other side, and with that, we got ourselves a couple of little booties. We can now move up top, working on his phalanges. For this, I'm just gonna be sticking on a couple of little balls to the end of his wrist bits. And once I have those wrist bits all balled up, we could go ahead and give those little balls a little bit more of a mitten shape. Just smoothing those out into the rest of the hand. Pretty happy with how those hands were looking so far, so we're going to be adding a little thumb. For this, I just rolled out a really thin worm of clay, sticking that onto the side, blending that in, and then once I was happy with the shape of that, we could go in with a wedge-shaped sculpting tool, adding little finger details. And as for the other hand, you guessed it, we are going to be doing the exact same thing. So with that, his hands are complete, and all we have to do now is add his little cuffs to his sleeves. As like I did for the bottom part of his shirt, I'm just taking a very flattened out piece of clay, wrapping that around his wrist. I can then go in with a silicone sculpting tool in my fingers to blend that clay into the rest of the arm, and with that, the body's complete and it's off to the oven. Now that we have all the pieces of Lemongrab complete, we could go ahead and start the painting process. Now, if you've been here a while, you know I like to start things off by giving the entire sculpture a base coat of its initial base coat colors, and for this we're going to be starting with his boots, and for this I'm just going to be using black. And for those that are curious on what types of paint I use, the brand is called Vallejo. I'm not sponsored or anything, I'm just a fan of the paint. And if you're looking to pick up some paint yourself, I think I actually have the link to this video.
Check it out if you're interested.
As for his clothes, I mixed up a dark bluish gray color, and for the colors I used for this was Stonewall Gray, black, and a tiny bit of magic blue. But once I had the body coated with a few layers of that, we will let it fully dry before moving on to his belt. As for the belt, I am just going to be using one color, and the color I used was called Goblin Green. It is this kind of olive color. As for his hands and his little belt buckle, we are going to be using a color called Sun Yellow, and we're just going to be slapping that on. I do end up painting his little belt buckle gold, so I end up priming that black later on, but it's going to be yellow for now. With the body done, we could go ahead and set that aside and start the painting process for his head. Oh, I opted out for this dual screen option here just because it's pretty much painted the exact same way. I am going to be using that exact same color that I used for the hands. That's that sun yellow. Now, in reality, I should have primed this white. It would have made my life a lot easier, but here we are. So after about 4 to 5 layers of that yellow, we fully let that dry, and then we're going to go over top of his eyes and teeth with this bone white. I like to use off-white when it comes to teeth and eyes. I feel like it gives it a little bit more of a natural look. So with that, his heads are complete, so we can move on to his sword. As for the scabbard portion, we are going to be painting it with a leather brown. I felt like this was appropriate for this section. So after getting a nice thick coat of that on, we are also going to be adding that to the handle of the blade. Once I had those thoroughly coated, I could go on to those chrome sections, and for that I'm going to be base coating it black. The reason I'm using black is I feel like chrome colors kind of reflect what's underneath, and so I feel like this gives it a nice weathered metallic look. But with that, all the base coats are complete, so we could go ahead and start making this guy look a little bit more realistic. We're going to start off with his clothing. For this, I'm just going to be dry brushing a lighter gray over top of that dark gray. The gray I'm using is that stone gray just by itself, and this is really just to kind of bring out the texture in the clay. From there, we're going to move on to his belt buckle. I am going to be painting it gold, like I said before. For this, I used a color called Polished Gold, and with that painted, we could go ahead and pause there and move on to his belt. For this, I'm going to be using a wash of dark green. I'm just going to kind of be brushing that over top, letting it pool in areas just to kind of break up the monotony of the belt. And with that, his clothes are pretty much done, so we're going to go ahead and set that aside to work on his sword. Now, there's really not too much that is going to be going on here. I am going to be using that same polished gold to go over the black sections. I feel like this just made it match the belt buckle a little bit. As for the leather sections of the sword, I am going to be going over top of it with a wash called Beast Brown. I felt like this gave a little bit more variety to the leather look and made it look a little bit more realistic. And with that, the sword is complete, so now we can move on to the head. Now I am just going to be painting this one head, so the other one is going to be a little bit of a surprise at the end, but they are done the exact same way. That's the main reason why. But I start things off by going over top of it with a very watered down red wash. The red that I'm using is called Blood Red. I really let it sink down into all those cracks and recesses of the face, and then after a while I dab off the excess bits. I do a couple rounds over top of the face, and I finish it off by doing a dry brushing of a very light version of that initial yellow over top. This is really going to help bring everything together and make his details pop quite a bit more. As for the inside of the mouth, I am going to be using a kind of muddied down green color. The color I used was intermediate green and a little bit of that blood red to get this kind of putridy green. So after using a wash of that over top of the mouth, I do add a little bit to the top of the lemon. And then we could go ahead and stop there, let the thing fully dry, and then move on to his eye. Now we are going to make his eyes look a little bit more lively, so we are going to be actually adding color instead of just making them the classic black. So for the iris, I go ahead and start by painting a circle using a color called saddle brown. Once I let that fully dry, I could then go in with a color called beastie brown, which is a slightly lighter version of that initial color. And then I could finish it off by giving him a black pupil. And with that and a little bit of off-camera detailing, we're onto those JCPenney glamour shots. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and also leave a comment down below of who you would like to see me sculpt next. I'll see you next time.